RavenQuest BioMed is a diversified cannabis company with divisions focused upon cannabis production, management services and consulting, and specialized research and development. RavenQuest maintains a research partnership with McGill University focused on cultivar strain recognition, plant stabilization, and yield maximization of the cannabis plant. The company focuses on partnerships with indigenous communities. RavenQuest BioMed trades on the CSE under the symbol RQB.
I'm joined in studio now by George Robinson. George, welcome back.
Good to be back.
George, there's been a lot of discussion in the broad sort of social universe about the viability of orbital gardens and how effective they're going to be at growing good cannabis. Recently, Health Canada paid you a visit and gave you a very clean bill of health. Give me an update on it, what that visit was all about.
Yeah, it was really great to have them there. It's the first time they've been on site. So they did a full 2-day inspection. They looked right from the very beginning processes to the very end process of our building, but spent a lot of time with the gardens. They spent a lot of time looking at our first harvest results called the Certificate of Analysis. They found out that we had 0 microbial notices on any of them, which she said this is one of the first they've ever seen at that. So really what we have right now is we have a proven technology that's been growing to the data sheets, which means it's performing to the exact requirements of that cultivar that's laid out. And we've proven the technology is growing to the amounts that we wanted, and Health Canada has given us the nod to say what you're doing is very, very good.
Okay, so then it seems like orbital gardening might be even superior to conventional hydroponic gardening?
I think I'm ready to say that now. You know, sometimes I'm always being a little bit cautious. I don't want to promote, but now that we have the approval of Health Canada, we know what our cost structure is looking at with the crops that are going through. I can say you quite very, very specifically, we can take a run at any flat table environment, any greenhouse cost-wise and quality-wise. I think we're best conditioned from a growing technology out of anyone worldwide.
Wow, great. On that note, Afria reported profitability in their fourth quarter, but they reported expenses of over $2.30 all in growing cost per gram. How much does it cost you to grow a gram of marijuana?
We're much less. You know, we're probably half of them on the cash cost to grow the cannabis, so that's right through to the drying process, and we're easily half of their price on the all-in, right to the packaging price. We're getting the efficiencies out of the gardens from the cost of power, the cost of nutrients. We only use 21 people in our facility to grow 7,000 kilograms. So we've taken the 4 major components of cost and we've nailed those down and brought them down significantly, and our gardens are proving what we've said for the last 3 years. It will be the technology, the innovation to move forward.
And so is the uptake in the use of orbital gardening from your partners likely to proceed or rather accelerate as a result of these tests? I'm
going to tell you something, all of our partners are really excited. They had no questions before, but they had approval of Health Canada to say that they were on site, they've seen it. Now all of a sudden the phone starts ringing even more so. And the calls are coming from Europe, which we're extremely excited about, and our local partners here too are calling, and new people are calling. They've started to realize that Health Canada was on site, and they go, okay, all the concerns are gone, the gardens are working, and they're delivering as promised.
So do you think, can this statement be considered factual if we were to say that orbital gardening is in fact the most efficient way to grow cannabis?
I would say categorically yes. There is nothing that's even close to it right now that I've seen. Remember, and I've been in, probably now over 50 facilities around the country. I've been in European facilities. I've taken a look at issues that are in there. Remembering with the 0 microbial count off our COAs, that means we have no issues relative to mildew or any other type of bacteria and or funguses that's there. It's completely eliminated in our growing style. And we get that because we can control the environment and the canopy so tightly in that drum. So I can say categorically, we'll take on anyone any day.
Sure. So in terms of growing it in a drum like that, I just like to learn a little bit more about it every time I hear about it. I'm curious as to, so the air movement inside the drum must be present such that there is absolutely 0 sort of microbial or pathogenic reproductive activity able to establish. So how do you make the air movement in there consistent across the whole canopy as far as it exists in an orbital environment.
Yeah, so the gardens themselves are really great technology, but really what it comes down to is the complete building design and the climate control design. Where most people are getting away with about 300 feet per minute of airflow through a room, our design has 800 plus feet of airflow through the room. So that's the first thing. Then at the canopy level, we have underflow of air that comes up underneath the canopy as it's rotating, and we have fans across the top of the canopy. So there is no dead space. There's no dead air. All plants are moving. But remember, what's most important about microclimates, as you referred to, is that we don't have all the massive fan leaf that stops that airflow through in there. The plant doesn't need to generate it in that drum. So the plant leaf, the big foliar leaf is not there. So we don't have those restrictions. So every plant has its own movement around it, and they're not overlapping and they don't touch. So if you can do that, you can eliminate that with airflow across it. And we've been able to design and engineer into that canopy.
Wow, so it sounds like you're really on track for profitability, and everything that you've said you're going to do, you've actually achieved.
Yeah, and you know that some of the numbers that we've been out there promoting, we now know that they're real, and we're going to hit them, and we're going to target them. And the fact that we now know our costing structure, and we got some people who are absolutely passionate about growing in these environments, including Dr. Simmerjeet Kaur and her background, double PhD background. We're very excited that we've hit everything that we wanted to do, and it's been 3 years in the making now to see and to get to this point.
Right. Okay, George, let's leave it there for now. We'll come back to you again soon. Thanks for joining me today.
And thanks for having me.